Previously on Billy G Saves the Wild. Alright, I'm going to take a shot on these guys just to see, just to do something. So Connor Dewar and a fourth go for Cuck. Do you fit anywhere? You don't, son of a bitch! Let's see, Kovanov and a third for Nybeck. Rejected. So a third and a fourth. There we go. He doesn't really fit anywhere. I'm trying to get a better plus on that third line, but we just can't find the right players. Alright, so just like that, we're at 41, 17, and 3. Having another good year. So Matt Boldy's still putting up points after that paycheck, which is good.
You guys know what this is all about, right? Right? What's it all about? Spurgey?
Hard work and having fun.
That. This is about winning.
All right, welcome back. It is the second half of year 6, regular season. We got about a week till the trade deadline. Less than a week away from the trade deadline. And I don't think I'll be doing any trading at the deadline this year, but something I do want to do right away is go to contracts and look at extensions. And we're actually going to go to goalies. So when we go to Capo Kakinen, he wants an extension. And when we go to offer an extension, he wants 5 years at 4.9, which we cannot afford. And we wouldn't give that to him anyways because he is our backup to Wallstead. So when I look at Capo Kakinen, I think this is going to be his last year with us because we can't afford that. So when we go to in the system, we got 2 goalies that could be backups in the NHL. We got Skinner and Jones, and they both want extensions. And when we go to offer extensions to them, so Skinner wants 2 years at 800, and we can afford that. So I think we'll bump him up to 850 for 2 years, just so he's a little bit more motivated to accept that deal. So we'll offer extension to him. And then when we go to Hunter Jones, he has the same 2 years at 800, so we're going to bump him up and offer that contract for him. So we got, including Wallstedt, we got 3 goalies that could be NHL goalies with 2 backups right here. So we basically have 3 goalies going into next year. Sandstrom will maybe decide in the off season, but we got 2 younger guys coming up. So one's got an elite medium and one's got a starter medium, but they're a little bit younger, not as good overall. So they may take a little bit more, a couple more years. So maybe we sign Sandstrom in the off season, or maybe we sign him now. He wants 1 year at 800. Let's see if he takes that, because he would be the backup in the AHL if all these guys sign. And then if Skinner stays that 82 and Hunter Jones stays the 81, then we would go Skinner as backup and then Hunter Jones as the AHL starter. Yeah, and then Sandstrom would be the backup. So I like those 3 guys for fighting for that backup spot. I think it would go to Skinner Maybe Jones would develop a little bit more. We'll see. But I like that fight for the backup there. We're just not going to be able to sign Capo Kakinen, which is fine because he's asking for a lot for just being one more overall better than Skinner. That is the goalie situation for the future if those guys sign. And then for skaters, I didn't really want to re-sign Blitchfield. I maybe want to re-sign Bowie because he does fit on that third pair. He's asking for 2 years at 800. I'm going to bump him up to 8.5 because he does have good scheme fit. So there's 2 more years for Bowie if he accepts that. And then Palmieri doesn't want to sign. And Poling doesn't want to sign, which I'm fine with because Palmieri's getting old. And Poling doesn't really fit in the scheme. So those are the skaters. Not many big moves or big contracts that need to be taken care of because our guys are pretty locked down for now. When we look at the team in the standings, we are first in our division. We're second in the entire league compared to the Maple Leafs, who are in first with 92 points. We're in second at 85 points, but we're first in our division. So I think we're for sure going to make the playoffs, and hopefully we can get that three-peat because we're coming off 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups. So let's try to beat out the Maple Leafs for the President's Trophy again. As always, we got the +5. We got a +2 on the second line. We got a even on the third line and a +1 on the fourth line. Foligno's hurt, so that's why Palmieri is in right now. Defenseman, we got a +2 on the first pair. Brodin is playing up with Dumba on the second pair right now because Wallander is hurt. So now we got Bowie in with Addison at a +2. Foligno, who will be back shortly. Wallander is still hurt. He'll probably be maybe a week. We can look at him, and then Poling is scratched right now. So let's look at Wallander, see how long he's going to be out for. Alright, so Foligno's March 4th. Wallander is March 6th. Okay, so that shouldn't be long. So let's, okay. We can sim until these guys are back. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be trading anyone at the trade deadline because we did trade. We did have some trades earlier this season just to try fill in that third line with more scheme fit, but we kind of struck out on those guys. Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing any more trading. So let's go game by game here. All right, Hunter Jones. It was an easy decision to renew my contract with you. Great. So there's Hunter Jones. Bowie signs. And Skinner signs. And Sandstrom signs. All right. So there we go. We got all of our goalies and we got Bowie for a couple more years. And then we get a 6-2 win at home against the Ducks. Sim another game, see if Foligno's back. There we go. All right, so we'll take Palmieri out and Foligno in. Still get that +1 on that third line. Couple +2s on the penalty kill, so that's good. So let's sim day by day until Wallander is back. Ottawa at home. Ottawa's having a decent year. Wallander is fully healed. All right, let's get him in. Do Bowie out. Move Brodin down. And Wallander back with Dumba. Don't get a plus on the third pair this way, but That's alright, I guess. I want Wallander, yep, on that first penalty kill. And that penalty kill. Alright, that looks good to me. Alright, we got a healthy team now. And we win 6-5 in a shootout versus Ottawa. Now we got the trade deadline. And I think I'm just going to sim through the trade deadline because I don't really like that screen too much. So we'll sim through that, and then we'll look at the aftermath of the trade. We'll just continue simming at the Blues. Might take a while for the game to sim through this day. Alright, we get a 7-4 win versus the Blues. Let's look and see if any big trades happened. Alright, starting at the bottom. Vegas gets Clayton Keller from Arizona. Arizona gets Neil Patrick, I think is his first name, and 2 seconds. Okay, so maybe that's a big trade right away. Clayton Keller going to Vegas. Pittsburgh acquires Troy Terry and a second from Montreal for defenseman John Marino and a second. Arizona acquires a second and Timo Meier for Nolan Patrick. Wait, so Arizona trades for Patrick and then trades him to Seattle right away for a second and Timo Meier. Alright, I guess. Alex Tuck goes to LA for defenseman C. Murphy, a 5th round pick, and a 6th round pick. Alright. I don't know C. Murphy, if I know who that is. Alright, so Arizona with a very busy trade deadline. They acquire Nolan, or is it Neil? I can't remember. Nolan? Whatever. And Patrick, and then they trade him to Seattle and acquire Timo Meier and a second. But Vegas gets Clayton Keller. I'm guessing Clayton Keller's the best player to be traded in this year's trade deadline. So let's look. Not our lines. Let's view lines. Alright, so let's look at Coyotes. What do they look like? Brad Lambert at a 90. Jack Buckley at an 87. Timo Meier at an 86. Barrett Hayton at an 88. They got Jason Zucker at an 81 on that second line. Chris Kreider at an 83 on the third line. Still got Jacob Chikrin, 85. Their defense doesn't look too great, but they got 4 solid forwards. And then who else should we look at? LA? Who did they get? Tuck. Alex Tuck at an 85 overall. LA's got Patrick Kane at an 83. And then who else was it? Seattle? Seattle got Nolan Patrick. Okay, Nolan at an 86. Wait, where did Keller go to? Vegas. Yeah, Vegas. Okay. 86. Clayton Keller. He's only an 86. Top 6 potential exact. 2 this year and next year on his contract. Vegas looks alright, except their centers aren't very good. They got Pasta on their team. Shea Theodore at an 86, and then really nothing on their defense. All right, so looking at these teams makes me feel even better about ours. Because it's like some teams have decent players, but they like don't have very much depth. And I thought this year we were a little weak on depth, but our third line is not bad compared to the rest of these teams. With Beckman at an 82, Hartman an 81, and Zybeck at an 84. That's not a bad third line. Beckman's having a really good year with 45 points in 64 games. So I like the squad. And then even that fourth line with Foligno, Trennan, and Blitchfield, that's not a bad fourth line. They can hang. And then, of course, we have, I'd say, maybe other than Toronto, I think we have the best line in hockey on that first +5, and then a super solid second line that could be anyone's first line, anyone else's team's first line. Let's actually look at Toronto. They got Nylander at an 88. Matthews is the biggest difference at a 93, and then Marner at a 91. And then they do have Robertson at an 88 on that second line. And then they got Stelino. Is that how you say Matthews? They have two Matthews, just spelled different. Matt Hose. Stelio Matt Hose. He's 86 on the third line, so they could easily have him on the second line, but they got Tavares at an 84 on that second line. So our second line is definitely better than their second line. And they do have a really good bottom six this year. Compared to last year, I didn't think their bottom six was good at all. Top 4 defensemen are fine, and then last pair isn't great. Goalie at an 84, and then an 81. Holtby at an 81. Yeah, Toronto's got more depth than they had last year for sure. Definitely on that bottom 6. So they're going to be a tough team. We'll see if it comes down to us two again for the third year in a row. All right, let's sim some more. Sim to the end of the regular season. We are playing really good right now. We're on a 7-game winning streak, if I counted right. So let's just sim to next month. Hopefully we can stay healthy here. Fuck! Oh, fully healed. Alright, never mind. Thought Adam Beckman was going down right as I said that. Alright, 5-2 win versus the Ducks. The Florida Panthers have fired their head coach. Alright, so Florida must not be doing that great. Iowa players fully healed, best lines. Pittsburgh, they're under 500. And we lose 4-3. Then we get a win 4-1 against the Nashville Predators. Tampa is less than 500. Get a win, and Adam Beckman has been injured. Okay, he's been injured this time. Oh, post-concussion syndrome. All right, so that May 21st, he's estimated to come back. So let's bump up Foligno. Get a +1 on that third line. Then we'll get Palmieri in. Couple +1s on the bottom 6. And then we'll get Addison on that power play. Get a +2 there. That should be all we have to do. 4-3 win in a shootout. against Tampa Bay. 3-1 loss against the Canadiens. 4-3 OT loss against the Flames. Walsh in the AHL. We'll do best lines. Shootout win against the Leafs. 4-3. Shootout win 3-2 against the Jets. Owen Tippett has been injured with a strained hamstring. Alright, so let's go Zyback up. Only get a +1. Do Blitchfield up. And Poling can go in on that right wing 4th line. Zybeck can be on that 4-man penalty kill or power play. And the second unit 5-man power play. And the 4-on-4. What's our third line look like right now? Hartman at center. And then Foligno. Put Foligno and Palmieri, I guess. I don't know. Alright. Bedard, Kaprizov, Dumba, Perfetti, Boldy, Pionk, Kotkaniemi, Lambos. Who's a forward that needs to be? I guess it would be Zybeck. Alright. Looks good. Alright. What the fuck just happened? Alright. Shootout win. Shootout win. Shootout win. 4-2 win. 3-1 win. And now we are in April 1st with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. Let's check this injuries. See how long these guys will be hurt. This is not what I wanted. I didn't want injuries going into playoffs, so hopefully they're done before playoffs. Tippett, a strained hamstring, April 7th. And Beckman with post-concussion syndrome, May 21st. Oof. So Beckman's going to be out for a long time. We're going to need to get pretty deep into playoffs if Beckman's going to play any playoffs. Tippett should be close to playoffs, I think. I think it said, what did it say? Did it say April 21st? What the fuck did it say for Tippett? That sucks for Beckman. He was having a good year on that third line. Tippett, April 7th. Okay. So he should be back for playoffs, which is good for that second line. But Beckman, damn. There goes a little bit of depth on that third line. Alright, so we have 108 points. Ooh, Maple Leafs have 108 points as well, so we're tied right now. But we've played 2 more games than them. Okay, so if we want the President's Trophy, we're going to have to win some games here. Because Maple Leafs have 2 games on us. Let's sim until the 5th, maybe. Sim 2 games. At Boston and at Florida. Boston is alright. We lose and we lose. Oof. Tippett is fully healed. So we'll go Blitchfield down. Zybeck down to the third line. Poling played 3 games, scored 1 goal. Didn't even play 8 minutes a game. Get Tippett back on the second line. Alright, let's sim to the end of the regular season. Those 2 losses may have just secured not getting the President's Trophy. Unless Toronto loses some games. Shootout win in Columbus. Shootout loss in Philly. Winnipeg's having a pretty good year. Shootout loss. Devils are pretty good. OT loss. A lot of OT games. Iowa injury. Best lines. And a 5-1 win to end of the season. So we're 54, 21, and 7 to end it. We'll see what the Maple Leafs end up with. We have 115 points. Oh, 124 points. So Maple Leafs beat us out of the President's Trophy. So Maple Leafs are going to be tough again this year. I'm not going to say it. We're going to beat them in the playoffs. Let's look at some team stats and then player stats. All right. So let's do entire league. All right. So Toronto wins the President's Trophy with 124 points. We had 115 points in second place. They didn't really lose any games in OT. That's what their deal was. All right. Goals for, we had a 3.51. Toronto had a 3.95, so that's damn good, but we still were very good. Goals for, goals against, we had a 2.68, which is good. Toronto has a better one at 2.52. Our power play was at 19.7, which was basically the same as Toronto. But that's pretty good for this game. Penalty kill, we had 86.5, which was the exact same as Toronto. Home, away, I don't know if those really matter. Last 10, Toronto was 9-1. We were 5-2-3. So some overtime losses, but 3 points still wouldn't have mattered. All right, so there's the standings. What does our division look like? So us, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Dallas get in. Blackhawks, no. Avalanche, no. Preds, no. Coyotes, no. Coyotes are really bad. So Toronto has a better regular season than us. Let's look at player stats. All right, Matt Boldy leads the team in points with 85 points in 82 games, 44 goals, 41 assists. Led the team in goals. Kaprizov had 42 goals. Perfetti with 80 points in 82 games. Kaprizov with 76 points in 82 games, 42 goals. So that's a good year for Kaprizov, just under point per game. Tippett, coming off of his 100-point season, gets 72 points in 79 games. Didn't have as many assists. That's what he didn't do as good on. Had the same goals as last year. But still a good year for Tippett. Bedard with 68 and 79 points. Did he go up at all? He didn't. Bedard might be stuck at that 87, which isn't good. I mean, his offensive stats, other than his shot, can't really get much better. He's got a 99 offensive awareness. He's got really good puck skills. His shot could be better as a sniper. His physical can be a lot better, and his skating balance and endurance aren't going up. He's got good defensive awareness, but his face-off at an 81, which isn't bad. Shot block at a 71, which isn't great. I don't know what's wrong with Bedard not developing, really. We'll see next year if he bumps up at all after playing center all year. But maybe that's not what it is, and Bedard's just stuck at an 87, which wouldn't be good at 8 years, $13 million. But we'll see if he develops next year. Kotkaniemi with 68 in 82 games. Beckman was doing good. He's got 46 points in 69 games. Got hurt at the end of the year. Zybek on that third line, 41 points in 80 games. Dumbo with 41 points in 82 games. Pionk with 30 in 78. Lambos with 28. That should be a little bit better of a year for Lambos. Just 1 point more than his best season at 27. But still a good plus minus. See if Lambos can develop more than an 84. Hartman with 27. Blitchfield with 26. Trennan with 23. Foligno with 19. Addison with 17. Wallander with 15. Brodin with 13. Palmieri with 8 in 18 games. Bowie with 4 in 9 games. Poling with 1 in 3. All right, goalies. Wallstedt with 60 games played to Capo's 26. Wallstedt gets 39 wins to Capo's 15. 15 losses, 5 OT losses, 0 shutouts for Wallstedt. Capo had 2. Save percentage 912, which is fine. Capo 908, which is fine for a backup. 263 for goals against, 266 for Capo. That's pretty good for goalies. We don't need much else out of them because our offense is so good. So let's look at our next playoff opponent. It'll be Dallas. I don't know if we've played Dallas in the playoffs yet. So let's take a peek at Dallas. Dallas was 46, 33, and 3 in their regular season. Oh boy, they got Nathan McKinnon at a 95. Got Robertson at an 88. Foley at an 84. They got Sagan at an 88. They got a decent third line. And fourth line, they got an 82, 79, 78 on that fourth line. They got some pretty good defensemen here. 3 real good defensemen. And then 3 pretty not bad defensemen. So their defense looks pretty good. And then they got 3 good forwards. Got McKinnon, whom probably is the second best forward in this game other than McDavid. So let's look at the goalie. All right, 84. So not a stud goalie. So I think Dallas's strength is their defenseman. Yeah, for sure. And then McKinnon on that first line. All right, so I think this might actually be a pretty good series. And Beckman is still hurt. He's going to be hurt deep into playoffs if we can make it that deep. It's never a guarantee to go deep into the playoffs. So Beckman would for sure miss the first 2 series. And then maybe a chunk of the third. 21st, May 21st is when he's available. Maybe he could come back a little bit earlier if he can play hurt. But I think that'll do it for this video. So we have a really good regular season. Don't take the President's Trophy, but we come in second, I guess, for that. And then we got a pretty good first opponent in Dallas, I think, right off the bat this year in the playoffs. So that'll be next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Have a good one. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like if you don't like. Comment if you haven't commented. All that type of shit. And I'll see you in the playoffs with the ponchos. Get the ponchos ready. Let's go.
Perfect.